Greetings. May 17, 2014. We are the Pleiadian High Council of Light, Lord of the Pleiades, Archangel Adragan presiding. Perhaps you have not heard of us. Archangelic beings are not limited to the lists that have been created on Gaia. Expand your consciousness to include the rest of the universe, dear ones. We are the higher selves of many of the volunteer starseeds who are presently incarnated on Gaia. Our scribe was about to type incarcerated and we couldn't agree with her more. For you have been incarcerated, conditioned, browbeaten, and reformed into something or someone that does not at all resemble the true essence of you in higher planes of existence. We will not mince words. Even those who have long followed spiritual teachings or traditions have limitations to their understandings of what truly exists in the universe, within their own beingness and within that of others. What is a tree? Is it a form of life that was created for man to cut down and saw into firewood, or is it something more? Have you ever considered that a tree is alive and aware? What is a crystal? Those in the know, who are exploring the qualities of crystals, are quite aware that these rocks have a degree of awareness. Crystals can be used to store information. Even on your world, in the time of the great high civilizations, of Atlantis and Lemuria, crystals were used to power whole cities, to power ships through air and sea. Crystals have been used to focus energy, for healing and to destroy. The misuse of crystals was part of the undoing of Atlantis. We will not allow a repeat of that disastrous ending to occur, ever again. Your planet is a living being. Every form that exists upon it has a form of consciousness. There are some stories that those who misuse energies and destroy others will come back as soil, as a bug, as a rock or a blade of grass and slowly, through the tedious ages of the world, climb back up the ladder of reincarnation until, once again, they are granted the honor of incarnating as a human being. Those of you who drink and misuse your body, are you not aware that your cells and the parts within those cells are aware of your every thought and feeling? Your body responds to the level of your consciousness. And it obediently holds on to all thoughts ever created and united with an emotion to create a thought form, and stores them within your physical structure. This is why, in part, that many of you are now suffering from strange maladies, from aches and pains derived from unknown sources. Some of these miscreations have been stored in your etheric body for lifetimes. And only now, as the great onslaught of cosmic rays hitting your planet and your individual bodies takes place, can these thought forms be released, if you allow the process to go forward. Rise up, dear ones, from your self-created beds of sloth and be who you were meant to be, sons and daughters of Father Mother God. Be the light and love that you carry within your spiritual body. Let it emanate forth through your high heart and into the world around you. Anchor the light so that your planet and yourselves may rise up and experience the glory that is you already in higher planes of existence. We are here. We are among you. Some of us have sent forth into physical form soul extensions, who as they awaken to awareness, act as our messengers and emissaries. Many of these volunteers are still in the process of accepting their roles, as having incarnated, they have been compelled to submit to being conditioned by family and mentors for the earliest portions of their lives. Even some of you reading these words, may be such a one, a volunteer or emissary from another world or even another universe. Be patient with yourself. Be kind with yourself, but above all, allow. Your lives are changing. You cannot return into a state of ignorance unless you chose to forget all that you have thus remembered, and to do so now you will be lost in darkness for a very long time. These words are not meant to frighten you but to motivate you to action. Allow for the expansion of your consciousness to happen. Allow for yourself to become more of what you are already in other worlds and dimensions. Allow yourself to grow into your full potential. We remind you that we are fully committed to the ascension of Gaia and each and every one of her inhabitants, which includes you. We have been committed to freeing Gaia from the hold of darkness for a very long time, thousands of your Earth years. And yet many of us are in the same lifetime as we were when we set out on our initial mission. Such is the difference that exists in time as experienced in higher planes. As your planet dropped in frequency, so did your life expectancy, that is, for all except those who out of great devotion to their spiritual lives overcame all obstacles and mastered the serpent fire within, opening their consciousness up to the expansiveness of the universe within. Time and place has no boundaries for such as these. We are masters of the light and love, the twin pillars of creation. As such, we have extremely long lives and can choose the moment of our passing, only to step into another body with full consciousness and continue on with our mission. This can be your destiny as well, and will be once you allow your consciousness to expand beyond the confines of your human conditioning. The ascension of the planet and of each of those incarnated souls who are participating, is taking place, step by step, to allow your physical bodies to adapt and adjust to the changes in frequency. With every step, there is adjustment, and so you reach a plateau, stay there for a while and then begin to rise again. And, of course, you can also fall as you have risen, although the falling is more precipitous in momentum and it takes much linear time to regain what has been lost. We tell you this so you will remain vigilant and protect your auric field from intrusions and attacks by those who do not wish to see you or the planet ascend beyond the frequency level where they can maintain a presence there. Some of you imagine that you can think yourself into the higher planes by thinking positively all the time, but this is a foolish effort. Integration of the dark and light halves of yourself is necessary. Remember, you have long existed and played in the fields of duality. Within duality, you have played out many roles, some dark and some light. All of you have much to release, much to balance, and much to forgive. Remember this when you point your finger at others and blame them for all that is going wrong in the world. Remember Jesus when he bade the accusers of the harlot, "Then if you be without sin, cast the first stone." No one cast a stone that day, for they knew, in their heart of hearts, that none of them were without sin. As sin is a trigger word in your world, especially within the Christianized portions of the Western world, we also remind you that the one to whom you are pointing your finger is a part of you. All of you exist within the human collective, even those who have incarnated upon this planet for the sole purpose of lending your soul light to the planet and its inhabitants so they might be saved, so they might ascend into a higher frequency and be allowed to live physical life as it should be lived, not as they have been compelled to live it for millennium. Likewise, those who have agreed to play dark roles have come to experience duality and to act as prod or irritant for those who would deny that they are anything but what they see in the mirror every morning. Do not give away your light to these by attacking them, but view their actions with compassion, for once you may have also played such a role. Seek the light within. Seek the love within, and all else will come forth unto you, dear ones. You are the one who must reunite with the Christ who awaits you as a bridegroom or bride within your own heart center. This one only exists as a special dispensation granted to this planet due to the intervention of Sanat Kumara on your behalf, that is, on behalf of those who lived upon the planet so long ago. This great being of light stepped forth and requested that he be allowed to come to Gaia and assist her to rise up in frequency, once again. Your planet was about to be destroyed, and he saved it. So, the office of the Christ was created. The Christ or Anointed One is an intermediary between a human and its higher self, and only is required because the human has sunk to such a low frequency that in order to retain the connection to the higher self, an intermediate step was required. When you manage to reintegrate enough of your higher essence to reconnect with your higher self, the intermediate stage of the soul or Christ is no longer required and you are reunited with your monad. Great yogis and spiritual masters from culture all over the entire planet have reached the level of becoming an anointed one or a Christ. There are other names that mean the same level of spiritual attainment that do not need to be shared here. To be a Christ or anointed one does not mean that you are a Christian. You can be from any religion, any gender, any culture or race, from anywhere on the globe, and beyond. The concept of Christ is not one that is contained only within this world, for more than one world has descended into darkness through the course of the present cycle of the universe, and now these worlds are being relit, one by one, through the efforts of volunteers like you. For many of you, your sojourn on this planet is a test and a training ground. Many of you will go on to other missions and worlds, bringing what you have learned here as a foundation for your actions in these other places. We can attest to the power of love and light, but it also takes effort on the part of the individual to move forward to where they can bring into their physical being the true essence of their higher selves. This is what is occurring for some humans. We hope that others will wake up and get to work so the process can be accelerated. We welcome the opportunity to bring you this message today through our scribe, who is well known to us, as she is family in the fullness of the meaning of the word. Blessings to all. May we all stand shoulder to shoulder someday on the sacred ground of your beautiful planet, celebrating the victory of the light and the victory of each and every one of her inhabitants and life forms. Namaste. Channeled by Eliza Ayers, aka Tezjima Amaria Kumara. www.bluedragonjournal.com